see, is everybody at this? Yeah, we are live. Good.
Is this your car?
Yeah.
Offline, online.
Thank you.
No patient.
Okay, so we should go ahead and start the meeting. So everybody keep, put their phones on silent, please. We're gonna start the meeting with, Paul Griffin. Could you honor us with a prayer? And Sly, you would lead us in the pledge.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good.
If you will, let us pray. Dear Lord, we come to you this morning humble and thankful, thanking you for waking us up this morning, thanking you for allowing us to live in a country like we live, where we can freely serve you, Lord. We ask that you bless our leaders of our country. Be with them, make them make wise decisions for all the people of the world. We ask that you come right here to this boardroom, be with the board members and all the people in this room. Bless their family. We ask that you give these board members the wisdom and the knowledge to do the right thing for your people. And for all these blessings and others, we ask in your name, Christ Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's see here. Wow. Okay, Sheriff, what do we have on this agenda?
Yes, sir.
What do we have first on the agenda?
The first on the agenda is the approval of board minutes from the March 15th meeting.
Yes, Mr. President, you should have before you a copy of those
That's what I'm
minutes.
looking for now.
I would ask if there are no changes, board please approve said minutes.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There you go. All right, concerned citizens.
Yes, sir. We have Ms. Jan Collins, Executive Director of the Madison County Business League, to make a request related to a law enforcement appreciation resolution.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you again for letting me come and make this request. We think it's probably the 10th or 11th year, probably the 10th year that we have celebrated Law Enforcement Appreciation Week and all the efforts of our county and municipal law enforcement leaders and officers. So on behalf of Madison, the City Chamber, Ridgeland Chamber of Commerce, the Madison County Chamber of Commerce, and the Madison County Business League and Foundation, I'm here today to request the approval of a resolution proclaiming May the 9th through the 14th of 2021 as Madison County Law Enforcement Appreciation Week.
Okay. So,
President, I'd make a motion for approval of the resolution.
and we get a second from Supervisor Baxter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
We have another individual that's, concerned citizen. Leon Adams?
Mr. President, Mr. Leon Adams is next on your agenda.
Okay, thank you. Is Tim outside? You bring him in.
I want to say good morning to everyone.
Morning.
I'm Leon Adams. I got property I'm overseeing at 123 Goldman Road, Canton, Mississippi. I had written a statement, and I want to go ahead and read it so I make sure I don't miss anything. And I will share a copy with you. I believe this is District 4. And my statement is this. We are requesting assistance for immediate resources and corrective action to remedy the negligence of street repair, safety, health, public nuisance, of overgrowth of trees along pathways, properties and streets, overgrowth of grass, buildings and vehicles, abandonment, and street and drainage problem. These items present both public safety, health, and fire hazards for the residents of Laura Hyde, also known as Tin Top subdivision of Canton, Mississippi. Well, matter of fact, I saw one fire hydrant, and it's on Old Jackson Road. And to me, that is not adequate for all of those homes in that area. So we definitely need to look at that. Specifically, we are genuinely concerned about a potential forest fire that will wipe out our community, about abandoned cars that attract rodents, snakes, bees, children, about abandoned buildings that may attract illegal activities, endangerment of the public, and fire hazards. Finally, there's a lack of proper ditch drainage and street repairs that have been tolerated too long without proper concrete curving, grates, and covers. In front of my house, the street stopped halfway in front of my house, and I got grass on the rest of it. The street should continue. The drainage, when it rained, we were stepping in water. The drainage is totally inadequate. There was a section in the road where Laura Street adjoins the Brown Street. That curve had erosion for at least 10 years. Some asphalt just now been put there here lately, so you can round the curve. You had to slow down almost 0 miles an hour to try to get through there. It had big potholes right there. So there's no attention. So I don't know what is happening. However, I'm going to offer some solutions. I was almost ready to do a total petition. I had drawn it up, and I was getting ready to go out and get signatures everywhere. But I said, well, I'm going to hold off on that, and I'm going to come to the board, try to talk about this. My resolution is perhaps the city of Canton, Madison County, state government, or federal government may be able to work in a collaborative partnership to address these issues. Even parks and recreation or Department of Energy. I worked with the Department of Energy when I was deputy director down at Jackson, Mississippi. And I got almost $2 million from them for energy conservation. So there's some things I think we can do if we work together. We'll be able to develop walking and bike path. Right now, the people don't even have any place to walk. They're out there in the streets trying to walk or ride a bike. We could develop something right in that area that will suffice and help that neighborhood. Pavilions, we could do that. I also contacted Miss Lee Kemp of Mississippi State University. She is under the auspices of Fred Carr Jr. Small Town Center. They have some resources to help neglected communities. So, I contacted them, but I'm saying with the government here of Canton, hopefully we can do something to address the negligence that we have in that area. To me, we're just sitting on a time bomb. If we get any type of disease in the area from mosquitoes or whatever, all this drainage, and matter of fact, we got trees. I don't know what we can do about that. They're on the lines, but they're falling into people's property. One of my friends built a new house out here a few years ago on the north side, right off that Brown Road. A tree fell across the fence there, tore her house up. She had to get it repaired. At my house, right out in front, there's a tree has fallen across the fence line. And I don't know who owns that property now, but maybe, you know, if somebody requests, maybe they can clear up some of that so that we don't have our houses damaged when the wind comes along. So I'm just requesting some help. That's all I'm requesting, some help to remedy that situation out there. And like I say, to me, there are funds available if we have somebody to push it and to tap into it. I'm just a citizen, but I know with this government, we ought to be able to do something for that community. Right now, we have taken the highway system around it. We have 55 highway on the east, we have 22 highway on the north, and there's another road that has been cut in. Instead of working the old Jackson Road, you cut a new road in to go down to the Gluckstadt exit. So we're surrounded by a highway system that like we're forgotten. So we need help. So that's why I came by here to request. And I don't know, can you give me a date or whatever you're going to start on it? But I'm going to be looking. And if we don't get it here, I'm going to continue to push all the way up to our White House if necessary. I'm going to put this issue before everyone to make sure we can get some help in that area.
Okay. Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Is that the end of your?
Yes, and I want to.
Well, what I was going to say to you, I'd be happy to, I'm the supervisor of the area, and I'd be happy to meet with you, and let's take a look at the things that the county can do. You mentioned several things in your statement. Some of the things that you mentioned, the county has, really can't do anything with, private property, and there may be some other issues. But there's certainly some things we can do, and I'd like to just meet with you, and we can get together. See, actually, any day this week, pretty much. I can give you my number.
Well, yeah, I probably have to meet by way of Zoom or your number. Mm-hmm. I'm getting ready to go to Michigan in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you come back.
Yeah.
When you come back, we can meet. Let me give you my number.
Okay. Appreciate that. And I would like to leave this as a statement.
Okay.
Who can I leave this with? You?
Mr. President, I would make a motion for that to go into the.
Go into the minutes.
Into our minutes.
You can give it to Ronnie over
Yeah, you
there.
can give it to our Chancellor Clerk there. All in favor of the motion to make that part of the minutes for under concerned citizens?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The motion was made by Mr. Steen and was seconded by Mr. Baxter. Okay.
I have one question. You said that, are you inside the city of Canton?
No.
No. Okay. I
No,
thought
I
he
think
said he
it's-
was inside the city.
I think it's more for county.
It's county.
Okay.
It's kind of confusing because there's a part that I guess is city of Canton, and the other part is county, but.
Yeah. You probably have a Canton address.
You got a
Right.
Canton address, but you're still outside the city limits. The city limits kind of goes around you.
Right. We pay taxes here, because I came by and paid the tax.
You pay
Utilities
county
come-
taxes, but you don't pay city taxes.
No, but I'm saying that, but we doing, all the business come in here more or less, so. But it's located in county.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, then.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Adams. Yeah, give his information and give him my number. Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, are you ready for Christine Jones?
Yes, let's Mrs. Jones come up.
Where is it?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Christine Jones. My property address is 505 Smith Car Road in Canton. And I'm here again, which is probably my third or fourth time about the same issue. And that is the ditch, or the like of a ditch, at the end of my property. I'm on the corner of Smith Car and Sidewell Road. And at the end of my property, the ditch has almost disappeared. And since the rezoning of my area for the subdivisions or the construction of the different subdivisions in the area, more water is actually flowing down the hill. I'm at the bottom of the hill. And more water is being rerouted to that area due to the development of the area, which, you know, the development is excellent. But at the same time, I really feel that the county, and I realize you guys are busy, I can see the people out there and representing different problems in the area, but as you know, I've been coming here for at least 3 to 4 years requesting that the county do something about the ditch at the end of Smith Car, but on the Sidewell Road side. And that's because when the flow of water hit the corner, the water is then going into the lower part of my property. And last year, I spent almost $1,000 hauling in dirt, getting people to spread it, having them to do work on the property. And as of this year, the water is continuing to flow onto the property, flooding the property, changing the dirt and making low areas where when it's wet and when it rains, I am unable to mow that area because of the excessive water there. And that's my problem. If it wasn't for the problem of not being able to mow the area, then I wouldn't have a problem with the water flowing there. And I know that the county has a lot of things to do, but, you know, like I said, it's basically based on the time that I've been waiting. They did send the engineer out. I think I was here in November. And I don't remember if the engineer came out in November or the time before when I was here. They asked him to come out and locate the property line, which he did. He came out and he put stakes on the hill on the Smith Car side, but he never did anything to the Sidewell Road side. And actually, when it was time to mow, nothing had been done other than coming out to locate the property line, and where he put the stakes basically wasn't the property line because he put it past 10 feet. And that's the other thing I wanted to ask is, I was always told that the first 10 feet of all properties is the county. And when he put these stakes down, he put them at least 15 to 20 feet back. And I was just wanting to know if there has been a change where the county is claiming more than the first 10 feet.
It varies on each road.
Yeah, I think it does. It does vary by road, and I don't know the 10 feet rule. Some say the back slope of the ditch. There's because probably the right of way in there is probably by prescription anyway. It's not. Mm-hmm. 60 feet from one side of the road to the other side of the road.
30 each way of center line.
30 from the center line. Okay. Can I ask you a question? This is our engineer, Tim Bryant. At the bottom of the hill where Smith Car and Sour Road intersect, is there a cross drain? Where's the water trying to go?
There is no drain. See, that's the problem. There is no drain on the Smith Car side of the road.
Right.
On my side of the road.
On your side.
The drain is actually on the opposite side of the road, and there is no passage for the water to go to the other side of the road except like half a mile up the street. By the time it gets down to my house, the water is still, a lot of the water, especially since the subdivision. See, that's why before the subdivisions, the water was equally coming down both sides. But now a lot of the water has been rerouted in the areas that used to be empty land. And it's being rerouted to come down both sides of the road, and that's where the excess is coming from.
Which subdivision are you talking about? The
We have 3 or 4 new ones. You have 2 on Yandell Road,
That's what I thought you were
right
talking
before you get to Smith Car.
Right.
Then we have a brand new one on the opposite side of Smith Car. I don't know the name of them. But
So
they,
we're talking about, though, the subdivisions you're speaking of would be the new subdivisions that are on Yandell Road.
yes,
Okay. And they.
we don't have any on Smith Car or in that area.
Yeah, I didn't think
It's
so.
up the hill, and as you know, water always flow downhill no matter what you do to it.
Well, it just, if there's no cross drain, then the water coming down the hill is meeting with the water that's running along the road, and it meets at the lowest point of your property.
Right.
If there was a cross drain, and then we could take the water over and maybe it'll get to the other side of Smith Car, of Sywell, and I don't know where it's going to go from there.
Actually, there's a drain right across the street. That was a plan when I first came here, and I don't remember who they sent a person out to look at it. And I don't think it was the same engineer, I'm not really sure, but that was before the approval of the rezoning. They sent a guy out, and I showed him where the problem was during that time. And he had talked about putting a drain at the end of the street and rerouting the water to go to the other side of the ditch. And then there's a drain like less than probably 200 feet up the street. And he felt that the water would, if it was high enough impact on the water, he felt that it would take it across the street and then to that particular drain. But in the last 2 to 3 years, they have always, the board has always talked about taking it to the creek. And I'm not sure if the water going the right side of the street is ever going to go to the creek or not.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Jones, I think I'd like to see if I can get the engineer back out there, and let's see if if we couldn't put a cross drain in there.
Okay.
And move the problem down to someone else, and let them come, and then we'll solve their problem.
I'm not in agreement with moving the problem. I'm in agreement of solving the issue, but not necessarily moving the problem to someone else.
Well, I understand
Yeah.
that. And I would really prefer the board to come out with a solution to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Because eventually when you patch something up, it usually comes back to the original owner, which is going to be me. But if that's the best you can do, I'll take it.
Well,
Then at least you'll have a different face up here.
Yeah. Well, we just need to take a look and see what we can do with the water. We've got the road manager back there and the engineer, and I'm going to ask them to take a look and see would a cross drain solve the problem for everyone. I know on the other side of the road there's not anybody living there, and there's open land there. So
Anybody gonna let them go out there and dig a ditch on their property though?
you know, we just wanted to get in the ditch on the other side of Sywell Road and run that ditch, because it's not far from where it will drop off into a drainage.
And let me just add something, because he was just saying there's someone on the other side, and I understand that, but that's empty land. It's been empty land for the last 20 or 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
My property has been owned for 15 years, and the water has been getting progressively worse over the years.
Okay then. Well, I think that for now we have a plan, and let's move on that particular plan. And I appreciate you coming by, Mrs. Jones.
Okay.
Chris.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President, that's it with our pre-sign-ups, but right now we have 3 individuals who have signed up this morning. I want to draw your attention first to Dr. Paulia Griffin, who is a member of the Madison County School Board. She's in the meeting with you this morning. And then there are 3 students that wish to talk to you: Ashlyn Thompson, R.J. Jones, and Nicholas Jackson. I'll let them take their chosen order and introduce themselves to you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Nicholas Jackson. I'm a senior at Velma Jackson High School. I am here today representing my fellow classmates and community SU. As you may know, this last year has been extremely challenging, difficult, and uncertain, for to say the least, for us and the whole world, basically. In the midst of a pandemic, schools and employers were forced to make the difficult decision to work from home. For families in the North Madison County area, this was not possible. The lack of quality internet in the area has made it difficult for not only my family and several others to meet the demands of new norm of working from home. Through several conversations with peers and fellow statement holders, this has become a serious topic. The few services that they offer in our area is either very terrible or very unaffordable. Providing quality, affordable internet in the area for all families will be very beneficial to our community. All families and students deserve a fair chance to succeed. This is not possible with adequate internet services. I am asking for you, please advocate on behalf of the families, students, and the entire North Madison area to bring adequate internet services to our area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Ms. Joe, what road you live on up here?
Lottville Road.
Lottville Road. All right, Northeast Madison County. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is RJ Jones. I'm in the 8th grade at Shirley D. Simmons Middle School. I am an honor student, and I also hold the title of Mr. Shirley Simmons Middle School. I come before you on behalf of the school community to appeal to the Board of Supervisors of the board, elected officials, organizations, and businesses to use your collective influence, connections, and power to help bring affordable internet connectivity to Northeast Madison County. I know the challenges and frustrations that many of my schoolmates, other students, and I have trying to access distance or virtual learning with poor connectivity or a total lack of internet service. Many students have to leave home, go to the library, or someone else's home for a basic internet service. We live in an age of technology, yet our homes, our family, our communities are not connected to the age we live in. As students, how can we be held accountable at the same standards with the same level of expectations as other school communities and workforce communities if the field of technology is not level? Again, I appeal not only to the Board of Supervisors, but also to any and everyone who hold positions of authority to create needed changes and to do whatever is necessary to bring internet connectivity to the Northeast Madison County. Give us the tools to be connected to the world. Sit back and watch us shine, flourish, and become contributing citizens to our society. Thank you for allowing me to get this opportunity to share my concerns.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for your time. Well said.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Ashlyn Thompson. I live on Highway 51, about 9 miles north of Canton. I'm a freshman at Canton Academy. And during COVID-19, we were required to do school from home, which was very difficult because where I live, we can only get a hotspot box that has limited data, and at times it wouldn't let me connect and go to class. So I come to you this morning to ask for your assistance to help get broadband available to all of Madison County. As teenagers, we also like to stream music, videos, and movies, and that's difficult. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you all young people for coming up. We got just about everybody represented here except Canton Public School. If you don't know, board member, Canton Public School runs way out into the rural area. And they are suffering from lack of internet. So also, matter of fact, Canton been on virtual all past school session. So, and they didn't had their problem getting their children the proper internet service or the hotspots to be able to get classroom work. So what I'm saying is, you all been hearing it from me years, a whole lot this past year. I think hearing it from the young people that are suffering and going through it, I think it was a good idea for them to come here today, to let them tell you all that they are not able to get their standard homework assignments, and they're not able to connect to the rest of the world. And Madison County is one of the best and growing county in the state of Mississippi. So I'm hoping later on the new business, when we get to talking about the money that's coming down from the federal government to the counties, the schools, and the state, that we can keep these young people in mind. So once again, thank y'all. Y'all represented your schools and your community well, and keep doing what you do as best as you can. Get that education. And I know all you two, Mom and Dad, Grandpa, the young lady back there, that was your dad or granddad? Your dad? All right. Thank you, and Dr. Griffin, thank you for putting this together. All right. Anything you have to say? Want to say, Doc?
If I may?
Yes.
Can't wait to tell her daddy you said that. My niece.
He had a mask on, I couldn't.
I will make this very short. Good morning, first of all, and thank you all for allowing these young people to come before you. And thank you, young people, for coming also. I would just like to add to what they have said and what you all know. And I know that we place everything on the plates of the Board of Supervisors, and we know that you cannot do it all. But what we are asking is, one of these young people said, we are here just to appeal to you to use your collective influence and power to touch whomever needs to be touched, elected officials or whomever. We know that a lot of money is flowing into Mississippi. A lot of money is coming into Madison County. But we are way out there, and we are just not getting the services, the broadband, the internet connectivity to serve our people. And not only are work from home, they can't do that. I just told someone I live at 157 Grown Williams Road, and I serve on the Madison County School Board. And there are times when I get my board package, I have to leave my house and actually go to one of the schools in order to go through my board package. And the most grievous of this is what's going on with children, with distant learning, virtual learning. The schools are doing the best that they can to provide quality education with this pandemic going on, but it's difficult. They spent thousands and thousands of dollars to give students devices. All students have devices that they can take home, but you all know that a lot of the children are not able to use them. And we know that that's not your fault, and it's not something you can fix on your own, but we are appealing to you and to everyone, elected officials, whomever, to help us get some of that money out in East Madison County to get us broadband service and internet connectivity out there. I'm a bit long-winded. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have that moment.
All right. Thank you.
Dr. Griffin, we appreciate you, as Paula said, we appreciate you kids. It is something that we all know that it's on the top of our list. It's something that we're talking about daily, and it's kind of difficult. But we're gonna solve the problem. We're gonna get broadband out there.
Thank you.
We appreciate you all. We don't say that enough, and sometimes we don't say it at all, but we do appreciate you.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Right. Now go to school now.
Mr. President, everyone that has signed up either today or previously has now talked with you. I have checked the group outside. There's no one waiting to talk to you as a concerned citizen.
Okay, good.
If I may, on consent items, I think you'll consider that next. Number 9, I listed J, H, and H, and that should have been Dale. You had previously authorized us to work a contract with Dale for that restroom project. So if you would change number 9 to execute an agreement with Dale Partners.
Oh, I have that at number 8.
I'm sorry.
Mine is
I
9.
don't even see it.
It's actually number 10.
Approval,
That's correct. This was printed before.
Actually,
That's
item
right.
10.
It's item number 10, if you'll refresh your agenda.
Okay, it's number 10.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to accept the concern.
Gerald, if you will, I'd like to pull number 17 off.
17.
17.
Yeah.
What does that say, Mr. Griffin?
Now, second,
Make sure we got it right. What does it say?
travel for supervisor, chancery clerk, comptroller, and all that type of stuff.
Going to Biloxi.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. President, I make a motion to pull item 17 and also change item 10 where it says J, H, and H to Dale.
The Dale. Okay. Is there a second for the changes?
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor of the changes?
Aye.
All right. Can we get a motion then on other consent items?
Motion.
Is there a second on consent? Okay, all in favor of all consent items?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Now, item 17.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve that, adding the road manager to that list.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, let's see. Next would be item number 49.
Mr. President, can I take one second here to thank the leaders of the state, Speaker of the House, Governor and Lieutenant Governor for giving us another $5 million for the Reunion and Interchange Road Network, and this particular road is Bozeman Road. They have helped us. I believe this is the third consecutive year that they've helped us fund this project, and wanted to extend my thanks to them.
Okay, great.
I agree with Supervisor Baxter. They've been very helpful, and this will go for Bozeman Road, and they've been very helpful on Reunion Interchange as well in the past, as you indicated. But you're right, big thanks.
And I also wanted to thank Clearwater Group for following it through the process and making sure that it stayed on the front burner through the whole legislative process.
Okay. Anybody else want? Okay. I have item number 49. That would be the appointment to Western Madison Utility District. Cynthia, do you have those names? What? Good. Somewhere.
Looks like this.
You didn't hand them out? Oh, okay. Okay. Now we got from the Board of West Madison information and a request to add, well, we have two people coming off, Miss Brown, Miss Evelyn Brown, and the other person was Valencia Buggs is resigning. They wanted us to add Miss Carolyn Andrews and Ms. Joyce Monroe. I'd like to make that motion. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. Now, also, West Madison's utility district is having an issue with the lagoon. It is eroding and about to fall into the Big Black River, as they say. It needs to have, they would like to replace that lagoon. They sent us an estimate of cost that I really wanted to take an opportunity at this time to look at something a little bit different. The western portion of Madison County is pretty much our growth area now, and subdivisions are moving in that direction. I'd like to make a motion that we hire Wagner Engineering to perform an environmental infrastructure needs analysis, and which would include a cost of a transmission line that would tie in the town of Flora and West Madison utilities, along with other properties that are now out there open and available for development, to Beatty's Bluff, our wastewater treatment facility. I think that it is the lagoon situation is short term, and being able to go into that wastewater treatment facility is much better for the long term for the county and its potential growth, that we could continue to grow this county in a manner in which we want to see it grow. So my motion is to go ahead and get Wagner Engineering involved. They've been involved with Beatty's Bluff. They understand Beatty's Bluff, and get them involved in just looking at how and what the cost of a transmission line would be, and I guess the positives and negatives at this point.
Mr. President, are you asking for them to bring back a proposal of scope of work to do?
Yes, well, I would like.
Is that what you're asking them?
Yeah.
What you're asking the board to do is to.
But I say I want the cost.
Yes.
I need to get
proposal and the scope of work.
Scope of work.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
Yeah. Where the transmission line is going to go to have the most impact, because we don't know.
I guess you're talking about impact is where to open up most
the
land
most land.
Development.
Exactly. How do you get Flora? How do you get West Madison, as well as opening up other lands for development?
I think we may be talking about two different things, in which I think we're going to get to there, but I guess what I'm asking is a proposal to bring back a cost estimate and a scope of work that they would propose to clarify what you're talking about.
Well, that's exactly what we need. Okay.
All right, if that's your motion, I'll second.
That would be my motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
There's proposal for a scope of work. Okay, is there a second? I made the motion, you seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? Okay. That's it for District 4. Let's see here.
Don McGraw.
Mm-hmm. Don McGraw.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm here on behalf of Bridlewood of Madison, which many of you may know about it, but it's an event venue out on 22, just north of Lake Caroline, about a half mile back east from Charlton Place. They've been in business about 4 or 5 years and host weddings and numerous other functions. They have requested a liquor license from the state, and they required that we proceed to have it determined to be in a resort area. So we have to come before y'all to request that y'all determine that it is a resort area. So we've done several of these, but we have not had any objections. Nobody's called about it, so we would request that y'all enter in your minutes that this site is declared to be a resort area.
Okay.
So what does that mean? What does that mean?
I haven't had.
What does that mean?
Well, the resort area would allow them to serve alcohol.
Yeah. Well, what else will it allow them to do?
That's it. It's for the sole purpose of getting permission from the ABC.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to have a wedding reception without champagne in it.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to make sure. I want to know how narrow this is.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make the motion that they be granted the resort area. Is there a second?
I second with a question.
Question.
I thought the state had changed their laws, done, and the county didn't have to approve
Yeah,
it.
we thought that too, but this particular type of venue, they still require resort status. I spoke to one of the agents, and then I went on and spoke to the attorney for the ABC, and he said, well, unfortunately, this one was not covered by our statute that passed went in effect July 1st, 2020. So
Okay.
this was an exception to that.
All right.
Okay. Liquor stores are not covered by, you don't have to do this.
You don't have to. I had one up in Holmes County that was on appeal because the state turned us down, and then after that law was passed, they called me and said, well, you can drop your appeal because y'all can go ahead now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Will gonna probably build one up in Northeast Madison County.
Yeah.
Where Will at? He gone.
Yeah. Okay. It's been motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You have it.
Thank y'all.
Okay. Let's see. I believe it's time for the road manager.
Mr. Bacon?
Mr. Bacon?
Good morning, Board President. I'm requesting that I get a lot of calls about trash. Trash and just took over the county now. And we ain't getting but 2 inmates. That's all they getting us, 2 inmates. So I'm trying to get some help from the little kids during the summer program to try to get, at least kind of get half of this trash up, because they might get more calls by trash, I believe, than the road now. So I'm just asking the board, would they allow me to hire some kids 16 and older for the pick up trash this summer?
How do we get more inmates?
They ain't give us no. As they have this pandemic, they ain't give us no inmates.
That the state or the sheriff can help us with that? No.
That's the state. They've got all their work programs closed because of the pandemic. They're looking at July 1 at possibly opening it back up, but right now they're just not allowing it.
Okay.
Trey, I done already talked to Commander Bowie up there behind the jail. She don't have the inmates. She getting a few, but she don't have them there with her yet.
Yeah,
what the sheriff just said.
they don't have them because they're not transferring them right now from facility to facility because of the pandemic. They're keeping them quarantined and segregated.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Tim Bryant.
Okay, I got one more thing while I'm here. We got several large trees right there on Yandere Road, and they's leaning toward the main power line. If I have one of them trees fall, everything from 51 east is gonna be out of power. So I got some quotes to try to get the trees taken down, and I just want to let you know if y'all get some call about the road shut down, but we're not gonna shut down till the school bus done ran. It should be at 9 o'clock before we get started taking the trees down. We're going to shut down by 2 o'clock when the buses come back. So I just want to let y'all know that that's what's going to be going on. We got some huge trees that we got to get out the way.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning, Tim.
First item I have is number 53. It says it's Meeks Ferry Crossing abandonment. That is an error. It should be the landscape plan for the tax assessor's collector's office. And what I'm asking for is that the attached plan done by Danny Lee be authorized for inclusion in that project at an amount not to exceed $10,000.
Tim, I'll make a motion. I know that you had an estimate of 18,000.
I do.
And you cut it back to 10. And I know we talked a little bit that that's cutting it back a good bit, actually, cutting it back a lot. So I would make the motion to exceed not any more than 14,000.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right, next item I have is the ratification of the plat for Highlands of Yandell Farms, Part 1A. When this plat was done, an existing street, Highbury Cove, was misspelled on the new plat, and it's a continuation of an existing street. So this ratification is to change the name of, or spelling of, Highbury Cove on this plat.
Motion approved.
Yes, second?
Second.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item I have is the LPA 100 for the Catlett Road Improvement Project. This is an MDOT form that we submit to MDOT, and it authorizes money to be allocated towards this project. So we ask that the board approve it, and I'll let the board president sign it.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Hey, Tim, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
I got one more. Last item I have is supplemental agreement number 1 to the contract of H&M Construction for the Oakfield Boulevard drainage improvements. This project is, as you know, sitting in that low area of Oakfield Boulevard. And because of that, and because of all the rainy weather we've had over the past 3 months, the subgrade that is there now will not support the new road. So this supplemental agreement will take out the existing saturated dirt, put in new dirt in its place, and allow us to have a stable road. So I request that the board approve supplemental agreement 1 for $77,504.50 to the Oakdale Boulevard Drainage Improvement Project.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Hey, how's the DeWeese Road widening coming?
We're getting back out there, and we're finally getting a little more dry weather to get off of the road. We've gotten out there before, and we've just sunk up just like everywhere else. So basically what we need is some dry weather, and we'll get a lot of things accomplished.
Did y'all find the C-spire cables and all that kind of stuff, or are they not?
We're working through that. We know where they are. They're right off the edge of the road, so we've got to get them relocated to the backside of the right-of-way.
Okay, and the Devlin Springs paving's moving along?
It is. We started the countywide paving project today. AdCamp is working in Devlin Springs, and they're also working on Quail Hollow. So they've got 2 crews working right now.
Okay.
Tim, moving back to the DeWeese Road a little bit, the weather cooperates this summer. What kind of time do you think that road would be finished, or at least 80%?
I think we can have what we need to do done in 5 to 6 months. I'm not sure what the relocation of that utility line, how that's going to play into that.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, Scott.
Mr. President, Board of Supervisors, good morning.
Good morning.
The first item I have, item number 57, is Freddie Brown. It's a request to place a mobile home on property zoned to R1 and A1. It's located at 109 McCarty Road. It's in Supervisor District 5, with the understanding that the old house will be torn down prior to the mobile home permit being issued.
I make a motion to approve it.
That's it. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item, number 58, Church Road Retail. Is a site plan located at the corner of Church Road and Old Jackson Road. Property zone C2 Commercial, Supervisor District 4. Planning Commission approved on March 11th, 2021.
I'll move. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is Lexington Drive, Building A and B. This was a site plan amendment. This property zone C2 Commercial, Supervisor District 2, was approved on March 11, 2021.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is Yandle Farms of Sheffield, Part 3. This is 41 lots. This is just an extension of an existing subdivision located on Yandle Road, Supervisor District 5.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, Lakes at Stapleton. This is preliminary plat for an extension of the existing subdivision on Highway 51. Supervisor District 4, there's 70 lots.
The Lakes of Stapleton.
Sir?
I said Lakes of Stapleton. Okay,
Yes.
that's the name of it. Okay, I'll approve. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Get that second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item is Westlake Phase 2, 2A, and 3. This is part of that subdivision on DeWeese Road, Striblin Road, Carter area. Section 2, or Phase 2, has 38 lots. 2A has 5 lots. And Phase 3 has 22 lots. Supervisor District 2.
Motion.
There a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is Autumn Hill, preliminary plat for a new subdivision off Robinson Road, 11 lots. Supervisor District 5.
Make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you, Scott.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mike,
Good
Mike.
morning.
You asked me to look into the history of the ownership of 2073 Main Street. Issue came up as to whether the county actually owned the land and building. I've done that. I thank Cynthia and Ronnie in the Chancellor's Clerk's office for helping me look through all the deeds. So I want to enter the history of this land into the record. So we own the land, we own the building. Here's why. In 1945, Catherine Montgomery, by deed that I have, conveyed land to the town of Madison City, for the purpose of construction of water well for the citizens of that town. And there was a reverter clause. It said that if the land wasn't used for a water well or constructing a deep water well, the land would revert to her and her heirs. But a water well was constructed, and the land was used for that purpose, that it never reverted. All right. Then in April 10th, 1953, the city of Madison, the town of Madison, deeded a lot 60 feet east, 60 feet north and south, next to the water well. They deeded a lot to Madison County. And this is the lot that we're talking about. In the deed, it says a lot being at the corner of Madison Street and Main Street next to the water well. So by resolution signed by the alderman and the mayor at that time, this lot was deeded to Madison County. There was no language in the deed about any reverter, although it did say the lot should be used for a health center. It didn't say it would revert if there were no health center. But there was a health center built by the county at that lot. So the deed never had a reversion clause, and the lot was used for the purpose for which it was intended. But even if there were a reverter clause, we still own the land because there are 3 deeds, all in 1953, from the first one's from H.C. Montgomery, Bruce Montgomery, and F.H. Montgomery, all heirs of Catherine Montgomery. And 3 deeds said that they relinquish indeed their interest in this lot, deeded by Catherine to the town of Madison, deeded to Madison County. If they ever were reverter clause, if they ever had any interest, they would renounce their interest and deed it quitclaim over to the county. So this lot at the corner of Main and Madison, Main Street, 273, I believe, the history of the land ownership reflects that it's owned by the county. And thank you, Cynthia, for helping.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Mr. President? Mr. President, I have a question, I guess maybe for Shelton or Mike. Do we know the shape of that building? What kind of shape it's in as far as upkeep and structure of it?
You're referring to the condition of the building?
Yes.
I've never been in it, sir. I've not even looked in the window. I've driven by it, but that's as close as I've gotten to the building.
Okay. I would like to know the condition of that building, if we could find that out.
Okay. I will make arrangements to get access to that building.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the second presentation in the last 30 years that I've heard that from one of our attorneys to prove that we own the same building.
Okay. Well, we have it documented now on file, so.
Yeah.
What's in the building now? Nothing.
There's a sign on the door that says that it's the J.A. House, but
Yeah.
I have not been in the building, so I cannot tell you what is in the building.
J.A. House.
Junior Auxiliary.
The junior auxiliary.
They were selling secondhand clothes, and I guess they still are, I don't know. But I wonder if anybody's talked to the Junior Auxiliary.
Okay. I know what bill you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yes, the bill.
And somebody needs to talk to the mayor too.
All right.
All right. Well,
Thank you, Mike.
thank you, Mike. Shelton.
Mr. President, I got distracted by a text, but was there a vote on adding that to the minutes?
Oh, yeah, that eloquent legal presentation should be added to the
I'd make a
minutes.
motion for Mike's presentation on the building there to be added to the minutes.
Is there a second?
Along with the deed records.
Along with the deed records.
Along with the deed records. I'll
Say
second
any
it.
records they have.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, let's make it clear in the minutes. Okay.
First item, Mr. President, is the annual engagement letter. It's time to start our independent audit, and I would request approval for the board president and the administrator to sign the engagement letter with the auditor.
Make a motion for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty.
The next item on the agenda is a request from Parkway South's bond trustee. You may remember that there's a contribution agreement with Parkway South Public Improvement District. Currently, but 2 years ago, there was an advancement of $635,159.51 under the shortfall agreement. The PID board or trustee is prepared to reimburse us that $635,159.51 from 2 years ago. And subsequent to that, they ask for a continuation of the contribution agreement and a shortfall payment of $738,700 to be made for this current shortfall.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion for discussion.
Okay. Is there a second? And I'll second it and let's discuss it.
Only question I have here is why do they keep going down the road? Why don't they just, and I'm talking about I'm talking about the bank. Why don't they just pay it each year instead of coming to the county and really taking funds from the county to pay the note? And even though they know that they're going to have to pay it back in, 2 years? Why don't they just step up to the plate and just pay the note and not take the money from the county?
The bank has not told me their theory behind the process that they are using, but I believe that if they quit using the mechanism that they are, that they risk the debt being classified as a bad debt for banking purposes. And I think that I understand they haven't told keep the debt as active and alive as they possibly can for the purposes of bank regulators.
Yeah, and I guess I understand that if that's the case, but what it's doing is hurting Madison County, because we're actually having to pay it out, and then we get back so much. And I know we get back the same amount.
Right now, we are generating. We're just spending the same money.
Right.
They're paying us back $1 million a year. We're paying them $1 million.
Are they paying interest on what they're paying us back?
They are not paying interest. Contribution agreement did not call for interest on this payback. However, if there is a redemption of property by a landowner, that redemption process in the contribution agreement calls for us to get the statutory interest on that delinquent tax payment. So yes, we are getting some interest, but not through this payback
Very
process.
I would ask that you talk with that certain bank and ask them just to ante up each year, because they're going to have to anyway. Because basically what it's doing is just taking money from Madison County and just catch up with their payments to us. And I would ask you to make contact to them and just ask them if they would consider that strongly.
What about the attorney being involved in that? Are you okay with that?
Attorney would be fine being involved. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. So, after the discussion, do we want is your motion then to go ahead and approve the payment?
Yes. That's what's on the
Motion
table
and a
now.
second already.
And a second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. We have the comptroller coming through the door.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The first item I have for you is number 67, and that is the approval of the budget amendments and the interfund cash transfers.
Make a motion for approval.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
The next items are 68 through 71, which is the approval of the general claims docket and 3 payroll dockets for March 17th, March 29th, and another one for March 29th.
Motion. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Number 72 is the approval of the Fleet Corps claim docket.
Motion. Is it, okay, there's a second. All in favor?
Okay. And the last item is number 73, is the approval of the rejection of invoices for Dale Partners.
Motion. All in favor?
And then following me would be our attorney to elaborate that on the rejection of that invoice.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Also, I need action on this. You should reject the invoice from Dale Partners because there's no contract with Dale Partners for the specific purpose of contract administration to build a pavilion at South Race Park. Now, she can't pay something for services while there's no contract to do the services. But we're taking care of it. I've been working with the lawyer for Dale Partners. And I said, well, we need to be sued. It's a friendly lawsuit. So we have actually been sued by Dale Partners in Circuit Court of Madison County for about $26,000. And that's the amount, that's the value of the service they rendered without a contract. You can't go back and amend it to put it in because it's finished. So the only way you can pay is for a circuit judge to order us to pay. So it's a friendly lawsuit by mutual performance. We have been sued last week by Dale Partners. I reviewed it. I approved the language. I have an answer ready for the county to basically say, yes, it was overlooked, that there was no performance of contract administration. It was overlooked because there was no money to do it at the outset. When the money became available, the specific item was not put into the contract, so it's not there. So I'm asking the judge to order us to pay the $26,000. So when you authorize me to file the answer, I'll do it tomorrow, and I hope we can pay this by the next meeting, hopefully.
Okay.
So I need, the answer's ready. I need you to authorize your lawyer to respond to the lawsuit.
That's my motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor of the motion made by Supervisor Griffin?
Aye.
Okay, got it. Let's see here.
It's going to be that long. It's going to be that long.
Okay, Shelton?
Yes, sir.
You brought some people in, I didn't know.
I did. They're on the agenda under new business, but if you want to go ahead and talk to them right now.
Well, we can go down to new business.
Okay.
That's,
You've got representatives of the adult drug court here.
Right, okay.
Good morning. I'm Amy Nisbet. And this is Jessica Culpepper on behalf of the Juvenile and Adult Drug Court. Judge O'Neill couldn't be here today. We have two, I see only one item, but two items to address. One is an MOU understanding for Beyond Institute, and I will let Jessica explain more about this MOU.
So this MOU is with a company that does online life skills classes, and one of the requirements for our adult drug court, and it's been really beneficial for our participants, is that they have to take different online classes. We did a lot of in-person ones before COVID, and now we're trying to find more online classes, parenting, financial resources, anger management. There's a lot of different ones that our participants have utilized. So this money is something that the Administrative Office of Courts has set aside to help us pay for life skills. It would be reimbursed after the county pays for any invoices. And we are asking that y'all approve the MOU so that we can have our participants get started with these classes.
Okay. Where is the MOU?
Mike, have you had a chance to look
Yes.
at this?
Yes.
And you're good with it?
I don't see how much.
I don't see it on mine.
So I have a question. So if you were doing it live with the whomever before we were locked down, and now that we're coming back out, you're not going to go back to person?
Well, we're going to be utilizing both. We've been doing, there are a lot of ones that were available before coronavirus, and those were free. We've also done our own ones with people that we've been able to get, and since coronavirus, a lot of those sources have dried up, and we're not able to find any more of those. But we are also going to be utilizing this as a form of sanction. So, for example, a parent is in our drug court, they get in trouble, and one of the things that we can do to sanction them would be to say, okay, now you're going to take this parenting class. It's like a life skill class, but it's a little bit more intensive, and that's going to be your sanction as well. So we're going to be utilizing it on a very brief basis, maybe one time, shorter classes as a life skill, but also as a sanction for people, or even if they just need some extra help, not necessarily as a sanction, that we can help them take these classes.
Judge O'Neill and I have emailed on this, and these are drug court funds by reimbursement?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
all.
And also, I just had one other issue that Judge O'Neill asked me. On the last board meeting on the 15th, Judge O'Neill put a letter before a conference that's taken place in D.C. in August, and it was approved. I got with the county purchasing clerk on the 25th, but nothing has been done. No purchases no hotel reservation, and they're limiting the amount of people that can go to this conference due to COVID and whatnot, and nobody's been registered yet. So I don't know a remedy for that, but it was approved on the 15th, and nothing has been done on that matter.
Okay, Shelton, thank you. Take care of that.
Okay, my understanding is that there were reservations placed on a personal credit card. Is
Those
that
reservations were canceled, and I let her know that on the 25th.
okay? Then we will check that out. Obviously, we don't need to put reservations on two different credit cards. The last I heard, the individual reservations were made, and we tried to arrange that with a prior conference, and we had difficulty getting credits back from the hotel. So now that if those have been canceled, we'll get the reservations made.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, back up to Ronnie Lott.
Nothing, Mr. President.
Our sheriff, Randy Tucker.
Good morning, happy late Easter to everyone.
Good morning.
Time for DOC billing, just need to authorization and the board president's signature for billing DOC in the amount of $2,681.32.
Motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And their second January billing in the amount of $3,525.48.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Additionally, I've been in discussions with Mike over some abandoned vehicles, some of which I think were probably there when Paul was there behind the old sheriff's department, the old sheriff's department. We have dug them out of the weeds, traced VIN numbers. We've been able to locate two names. Mike has guided us through this, and I appreciate this. His suggestion was that we have Ronnie Lott's office, and Ronnie, I'll talk with you about this, notify those owners, post these vehicles of property properly, advertise them as abandoned, and to post those in 3 public places at least 10 days prior to any auction, public auction, and have them declared surplus at a time when they become essentially county property if they're not claimed. Just need your approval to do that, with Ronnie being the point man as far as noticing the proper individuals or sending out those notices. Yeah, the auction, I would be the auctioneer, actually, and we would do that on the front steps of the courthouse.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Additionally, I talked with Paul, and this is something that's been coming up, and you'll probably hear about it. I think Paul and I are on the same page. There's an event venue up in the north part of the county. We had another issue this weekend where they race the horses and their four-wheelers and whatnot. There's huge parking problem. I'm going to go up and talk with the owner. I think Paul's indicated he's got some additional land there. I think maybe he needs to create a bigger parking area, but we're going to have to we're going to address the parking, and once that venue is full, I think Paul and I are on the same page. We're going to just have to close it down. Ambulance can't get through, general public can't get through, and I'm having to spend an entire shift of men up there when they have one of these events, and it's just not working out. So if you do hear about it, we're addressing it. I'm going to go meet with the owner, and we'll resolve that. So, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And just to add a little to that, I know people been locked up in their houses for the last year or more, and they want to get out, and getting out in the first area is the best place to get if you're going to get out. I don't feel that safe yet to be in that big of a crowd. But we got to do something up here.
Like a good fishing hole, you can only get so many boats in it. And Northeast Madison County is open for visitors, but we can't do it in a dangerous way. That's obstructing traffic and a whole lot of other things, causing the sheriff a whole shift to be out at one location. Yeah, we want them to have fun and be safe, but it's just gotten to the point where it's not manageable. It's not safe. The security that he provides inside the facility or inside the event is fine. It's once it spills over outside of the confines of the event that it becomes a problem for all the surrounding property owners, anybody that travels that road. So we've got to come to a solution. I think we're going to go speak with him and do that. So thank you.
Right. Thanks, Sheriff.
Sounds good. Is there any old business?
Mr. President, I don't have old business, but I have a couple of items on new business.
Well, I hadn't gotten to new business yet, Supervisor Steen.
Oh, I thought we already passed it one
No, I
time.
was that old business. Now, any new business?
I think mine might be old business. Mr.
Paul, I think Paul's got
has
old business. There
That's-
you go.
Okay.
And I'm going to start it off with a discussion before I get to a motion. And I want everybody to kind of jump in. And what it is about broadband, internet service on the northeast part of the county. And I think if not all of us met with a company named TEC, based out of Jackson. The owners are local Madison County people. We got money coming from the federal government to the state, to both school districts, Madison County and Canton Public School, and the Board of Supervisors. I would like to authorize our county administrator, our lawyer, our lobbyist, who else I need to throw in there? Ronnie Lott, like any board members. First of all, if we need to travel to DC to meet with any congressional or any professional department, to be able to travel up there to see how it best position Madison County to get a good knot of this money. The money that coming to Madison County already, I'm hoping we use a portion of it for that to get internet service. But hopefully we won't have to use all Madison County money that coming. Hopefully we can get money from the state, because I hear the state gonna get $100 million this shot. And there's another amount that's gonna be coming down later for what I hear. So I'm saying all this to say, to get some input from my colleagues here. What are some of your thoughts?
Supervisor Griffin, I know that I think we all met with a company within the last couple of 3 weeks talking about broadband, that they are interested in looking to see what it would take to get broadband up there. But before I go there, I totally agree that, hey, we need to use every power that we have with our lobbyist individuals to see if we can get monies from elsewhere as well. But as far as moving forward, to try to get some information. I think that probably one of the things we could do is ask Shelton and the attorney and others on the board to work with this company to see exactly what areas and that we're missing broadband in the county, and also see if they would bring us back some type of proposal.
Some type of, I didn't hear the proposal.
Some type of proposal.
I like that. I like that idea.
Scope of work or a proposal that, that they would be interested in partnering with us and to make the broadband, to see where we are with broadband, see exactly how much money we actually going to need.
All right, and who will be here? Will this be a Shelton or Mike?
I think so.
Shelton's been doing quite a bit of work, making phone calls and making contact. One thing we're finding that really was the biggest issue that companies have in terms of laying down the fiber cable and all that is money. They don't see a return on their investment. And so that's been holding up being able to get broadband in the rural areas. And unless the federal government is going to, write a big check, we don't see that happening quickly. We're going to need a big check to put it down. Now, I think Mike Osborne. Mike does some things that may be more, and I think would help short term, possibly creating hot spots. And he creates hot spots similar to the way that you would put repeaters out for two-way radios. And I used to have all my vehicles had two-way radios, and we could hit those repeaters, and it would get out a pretty good distance. I think Mike's here, and since we're talking about this, I think, Shelton, you invited Mike here. Okay.
I did. If you remember, after Public Service Commissioner Bailey's presentation last week, he sent out 2 maps to us related to some federal frequency that had been bid out, and there were 2 companies that he gave information on that were now eligible to receive some federal assistance for providing service in Madison County. They are options. Osborne Communications has options that he would like to tell you about because primarily we've been talking about something that's in the ground. But there are other options for providing internet access, and if Mike will come up and he can tell you what his company offers here in Madison County.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Mike Osborne from Osborne Communications, and we've been, I think most of you know who we are. Over the last 50 years or so, we've done radio systems primarily, but there's more data in there now than there is voice traffic. So the service that we provide is wireless internet, not so much Wi-Fi. We deliver internet from our site here in Canton to remote sites that we've established in different spots. And then we distribute it the last mile or to the end user from that point. We started this about 2 years ago, with fourth quarter of 19. And the acceptance of it has been good. We build to cover small niche areas that are either not served at all or underserved, and areas where other carriers don't want to invest the money
to get the level of service that needs to be there. Of course, we all know the COVID thing has increased demand in some spots for work-at-home people and the educational type services. We have 3 sites in Madison County currently, and we've got one on the drawing board to go in soon, and we got a lot of spots we really want to put one, but access to facilities is kind of an issue in some places. I could talk about it forever, but I would rather y'all ask me questions that you want to know. I think I see some questions out there.
Where are your current 3 sites?
We have one at Kearney Park, one in Canton, and one out off Ratliff Ferry Road.
The one on Ratliff Ferry Road, how much area would it cover? Do it cover?
When you deliver by radio, that's a loaded question, because propagation of radio waves is affected by terrain and trees and other structures. In Madison County, in the rural area, trees is the biggest culprit. We have software-driven propagation studies on our website. Our coverage area is depicted directly from those studies. But in general, depending on the technology we use for a particular customer, 1.5 miles or so.
And that'll be that from that spot would you
Right.
have that towel
Right.
at. And this towel, is it yours or is it sitting on another entity towel maybe?
You talking about the Ratliff Ferry one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That tower actually belongs to my son. It's sitting on his property.
Sitting on his property.
Right.
Okay.
Get service with that on Robinson Road.
You get service with that. Okay. Like AT&T ceasefire towers. Are you connected with them anywhere? You might be able to sit your equipment on their towers.
The nature of the money flow in the internet business is probably not conducive to using those towers. Most of those towers are owned by large conglomerate tower owners, and their rent is typically out of sight for the internet business. But they could, technically, yes, they could be mounted on those.
This guy is I'm willing to work with anybody that can get us some internet service in Northeast Madison County.
What would it cost? For you to put out other locations. Say you're looking at a 4th. You're gonna have to build a tower.
We prefer to use existing structures when we can.
Okay.
Water tanks, existing towers, smaller towers. It just depends on the area.
And I know you said you're looking at how what's that, 1.5 miles around the. So and the height though, wouldn't the height of the tower or whatever you had it on dictate how wide the coverage area would be?
To some extent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you can have a customer a 1/4 mile from a tower that's just blocked by trees or some other structure.
Okay.
Even a tall tower. There are buildings here in Canton that are blocked from my 500-foot tower out here. So It's just, it's a very unique thing to any site.
How much would the installation of another location cost? Just kind of ballpark.
It varies with each one, depending on what kind of structure it is. Probably $30,000 to $40,000 roughly. That's I'm trying to generalize that because it does vary very widely.
Yeah, I understand. All I wanted was something kind of ballpark, get some idea, and that would be to install a location. Is there somebody paying monthly to receive the service after that?
Yes. Well, it depends on the type of equipment you put there as to how many subscribers you can handle